Okay, we are live. Greetings, greetings, family. We are live today. We've got a really interesting conversation that we're going to be having with our very own King, Joshua Maponga. So don't go anywhere, okay? Apologies for the late start, some internet challenges, but we are live now. I'm just going to grab the link so that I can be posting it to our family members to let them know that we are live. Oh, what a what a drama! So just posting the live link in the chat, and hopefully we'll share the link with your family members so that, and so all of those in your WhatsApp group to let them know that we are live and direct. Okay, thank you so much in advance. Wow. As I said, we are very fortunate today to be in a position where we're going to be having a live conversation with our very own King Joshua Ponga. He's in the background there, just waiting for you all to come through the door, and then he will join us. Apologies for the late start again. I now need to be posting the link myself so that I can let everyone know that we are live. And so how has your strong been? How has your week been, family? I've been having some internet challenges. It interfered with my radio broadcast earlier today. I certainly hope that it doesn't interfere with the show that we've got lined up for you today. So we're going to do our best, despite the challenges that we have, to bring you some really exciting breaking news, okay? We might even decide to look at some of the news reports that are impacting on us across the continent as well, because there's always so much happening across the continent, isn't there? So as we prepare to launch our show today, let's also look at what's going around. Let me shut the door so I don't get any background noise and interference. Apologies, family. Oh, King Joshua, are you there?
Yes, where's Catherine?
I can hear you, but I'm not able to see you at the moment.
Okay,
are you able to
I'm still logging in here.
Are you able to come live?
I'm trying to do that.
Oops, as you can hear, family, we've got some
internet
challenges. It's probably my internet.
Okay, I've logged in there.
Here we go. My internet is spinning already. So I rise up, King.
Are you all right?
Yes, I can see you.
Greetings. I think there's a problem with.
I must apologize in advance. Greetings.
There's a problem with Facebook. There's a problem with Facebook and everything else in terms of streaming.
And I think the problem is my end. I even went to the internet shop today just to report the problem. And they said they fixed it. All I needed to do was to restart the computer and the internet, and it should be fine. But already we've got challenges. So my apologies. We'll do the best we can. Looks as though it's spinning again.
Do you suggest we log out and log in again?
Yeah, and I think the problem is my end, unfortunately.
No, there's a problem everywhere.
We can try that, but I think it's my poor internet connection. But I mean, you look great. I can see you very clearly. The problem, the challenge is with the audio. It's just not coming through.
Audio.
But we'll try. Yes.
Hello.
I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's hope that the forces and the sources will be with us for the next couple of hours so that we can share some great breaking news with the family. Apologies for the internet connection, but I hope that you will stick with us today. As you can see, I've got a new cover behind me. It's letting you know that there is a new ebook available. You're going to be hearing a lot about that ebook today. It's a remarkable piece of work that our beloved brother, King Joshua Maponga, has been engaged in for some time, and we are honored to be able to bring you the information about it today. And King, you know, he's going to be sharing with you his vision and his mission regarding this particular book. So while I go behind the scenes and try and share the link, I wonder if we could bring in our King just to, okay, so I see he's fixing something there. Yes. King Joshua, how are you?
All is well, all is well, just time differences. Others are sleeping, others are waking up. I must apologize. I just woke up by instinct. It's about 4 in the morning here.
Wow. We thank you so much for waking up. Wow, just on time. It's like the spirit just nudged you and like, get up, get up, get up.
Literally,
It's amazing,
yes.
isn't it, really, the way our spirit works, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I was playing a clip of yours on my radio show this morning, and you know, quite a few people contacted me wanting to know, you know, where they can get hold of it, who was this talking, you know, and I know you've done so much work that you've put out there. You're probably wondering which clip this is, but you know, it was the one where you were talking about when we're born, that you know we get our spirit when we're born. And you was talking about your life and your journey in the church, and you know, the preaching and the teaching of the pastors, and it was just such a profound message. But you know, I wonder if you could just share with us a little bit your gifting, your natural gifting, King Joshua. There we go, internet challenges, but we'll work through. We seem to have frozen there. I don't know how we're going to do this, family, but I hope you're going to stick with us to make it happen. King Joshua, can I ask you to open the session today? Maybe we just need to call in the power of our ancestors to help us get through the internet challenges. Can I go over to you to open the show for us today, please?
Greetings to all of you, family, around the world and beyond, in Africa, in Europe, and those who are in the Caribbean and beyond. Where we are living in exciting times, and what a joy for us to all gather here and share the news as we go along, and we preserve history, we celebrate our personhood, we rewrite our own narratives, we convert these narratives, we convert our narratives into stories, and then we preserve them for the generations to come. It is my prayer that as we begin this journey of sharing, that it only does not end up in sharing, but it's a developmental platform where we are all learning to become a better nation together, using the software of the past to navigate in the challenges of today. Are we okay? Would you want us to log out and log in again?
No, we're not, unfortunately.
Can we log out and log in again? Okay.
We'll give it a try. I might lose everybody in the audience, but audience, we're going to log out and log back in again, and we're going to try.
Let me try that. Let me log out and log in. You stay there.
Okay. So everyone in the chat, thank you so much for being with us. As you can see and as you can hear, we've got some internet challenges. I want to rise up Brother Kwame Oboje, who's in the house. What do you say about the recent elections that have happened in Ghana, Brother Kwame? Rise up, rise up. Good to have you in the house. Good to have Sheriff S in the house as well. It was wonderful seeing you come live last strong. We've got Brother Patrick in the house, letting us know that there's an internet error everywhere. Wow, there's an issue on Facebook and on Instagram. Okay, and D. Francis is saying that we can hear you both. Thank you so much. Brother Kwame, thank you for being so understanding. We've got Mundele in the house. It's been a little while, Mundele. Yenge Pimpa Kiambote. He says, Sister Shanice, greetings to our guest. High salute to our brothers and sisters. Rise up, Brother Mundele. Rise up, Sheriff S in the house. Great to have you in the house as well. Yes, Brother Patrick, good to have you in the house as well. Sheriff S says, thank you, Dr. Shanice, for making this happen. King Joshua, blessed love to you. We appreciate all you do. Our Sheriff S is letting you know. Okay, let's see if Zoom is going to work with us. Right, your camera needs adjusting, King. Yes, you need to turn it landscape, please. Yes, that's right. We got you now, the right way up. Brilliant. Let's try again. Can we go over to you while you open today for us with any words of wisdom that you'd like to leave us, that you'd like to bring us, please?
All right, it's a great joy for us to be meeting up again. Greetings to all of you, viewers and listeners.
We might have to try and do this tomorrow instead, because I don't think the internet is working for us today. Sincere apologies, family. As you can see, we're trying.
All right,
Rise up, Sister Afrijamo. Good to have you in the house. I'm feeling so deflated right now. As you can see, we've got our king in the house, and we've got internet challenges. So we've got some great breaking news, and we're not even able to bring you that breaking news. Our king has just produced a brand new ebook, and you know, yes. We're trying, family. We're trying to make this happen, but as you can see, and as it's not going to work for us tonight. Oh, it's such a shame. King, we may have to abandon tonight and go for maybe tomorrow night if you're available. The system, Brother Patrick is saying, can't accommodate the two audiences. That's why it's freezing. Explain a bit more, please, Patrick. What do you mean? I always have guests on, and usually it's fine. So I don't know what the problem is tonight. Sister Ajamo is saying, please do not worry, Sister Shanice. We will persevere. Thank you so much. It seems that the internet connection is so poor, we're unable to hear our king speak to us fluently without it breaking up.
Is it breaking, or is it freezing? Or?
I'm hearing you now. Yeah, you're coming through now. Brilliant. Please continue.
I think greetings to all of you and the listeners around the world. It's amazing that we have gone through our academic institutions, listening to the language, the science, and the software of the Greco-Roman Hellenization of the world through the teachings of the ancient Greeks and the Romans, which we all know that most of that knowledge, Plato's, the Shakespeare's, is actually a plagiarism of some of our ancient Egyptian history. And when we look at ourselves in the African continent, we know that our proverbs, our idioms, and our language is the library of our sciences, because as simple as your understanding or our understanding of the trees, our understanding of the flowers, the mountains, the rocks, the names of our places, the names of the clouds, the names of each other, the names of tribes and nations, rivers, ravines, and etc. All this language is a library and a science, which then tells us the identification of things, the usage of those things, and the basic function of those things. So if you look at the clouds, we have, like in Sutu, they would have clouds they would call a pulaya mudbuti, which means the rain that keeps on falling and it rains and it rains. Like when you have a continuous, gentle breeze of a rain, the naming of a tree called mususu, for example, mususu, which is a green, evergreen tree in down south, and then the gut of a human being in the stomach, we call it susu. So mususu is actually a tree that is used for healing. Is susu, which becomes the stomach herb. So when you know the name of the tree and you know the member and the part of the body, you are able to connect that knowledge between the tree and the stomach. And then you know that inside you, what you call your stomach or the gut is the susu in Shona. And the tree that is in the bush is called mususu. So if you can marry mususu tree with susu, which is stomach, then already you understand that mususu and susu are related. And that's where indigenous African medicine start falling into place right there. So when you replace the knowledge of susu, which is your Shona language, and you replace that with stomach, and you walk around the bush, you will not find a tree in Africa called stomach. So you will have lost that entire science of what the natural habitat, how it is related to each other. Hence, we always encourage that our indigenous knowledge must be preserved. It's unfortunate, maybe this being a first edition, that we wrote it in English, just to give an appreciation of the language itself and the words that it has. But I hope with time, we should be able even to move a bit further and ask some of the audience that are here to translate this piece of work into their own indigenous languages. And I think that's where this project will get very exciting, because we've just introduced the concept. And from the concept, we hope that it can catch on fire, that each nation and each tribe should be able to take this small little offering and then move it. I will try from my side to make it into the Shona Karanga book, and those were in Zulu, those were in Igbo, Chichewa, Luo, all the 2,500 languages on the continent of Africa and beyond. This is quite an exciting project where you, as an individual, can be directly involved in terms of preserving our own history and becoming one of the authors yourself of this august and a plateau groundbreaking project where we are now beginning to take responsibility of our own history. I welcome all of you, and I thank you for being part of this beautiful and wonderful journey as we have a discussion around the quotes. And these quotes are not my quotes. These have been your favorites.
You're breaking up my end, King. I don't know if that's the case for our audience as well. I'm hoping it's just my end.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you clearly. I can hear you. I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Fanny, as you can hear, there are some internet challenges. Let's get on. Now I've lost King altogether. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm still coming through live. Oh my gosh. Major internet challenges. It's been plaguing me for the day today. I struggled through my show this morning, and this is I'm struggling through the show this evening as well. And you know, our special guest today is such a powerful speaker within our community. And, you know, for us as Africans everywhere, he is, you know, it's his words of wisdom that we need to be hearing, that, you know, that needs to be speaking to us. You know, not only will he motivate and inspire us, but he will also lead us, you know, to where we can find the wisdom and the knowledge that we need to help us as a people to improve, you know, who we are as humans, you know, having as spiritual beings, having a human experience here on earth. Because, you know, we have, most of us, been disconnected from our spiritual self, and you know, our teacher here is trying to reconnect us again spiritually. But we have some internet challenges today. We're going to try and work through this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to, you know, try and reschedule today's session, this important conversation that we want to have, because, you know, we need to hear from King Maponga. He's life-changing. His words, his drive, you know, it's life-changing. And that's what we need right now. We need powerful speakers who can impact us right through to the core of our DNA and move us spiritually. Our King is back with us. Let's see if we can hear from him. You dropped out for a moment there, King, but you appear to be back. Are you hearing us? Are you hearing me?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful. Please continue. Sorry, you dropped out, but please continue.
I was saying this is a very intentional project. We did it not by ourselves. We opened up a page with Catherine, where my writings on the main blog page, which is the Farmers of Thought page, has been running on, I think, for the past 10 years or so plus. And Catherine then got excited and decided to go, after I finished writing the whole big block of writing, you then get inside there and pick up some few quotations, which then he created a page where, as a student and as a young man, he was also learning and picking up the things that he thought were interesting. And almost some 2 years later, if not three almost, here we are as a product of that collection. So we put up an advert like select your favorite quotations, and many of you out there responded by picking up your favorite quotations, you know, and we gathered all those quotations together. Then I did a little bit of editing and rewriting the introduction, the body, and added some explanations here and there where the clarity was not there. And here we are today, after almost a year and a half of writing, tagging to and fro, setting up the platforms. And a few years ago, people were asking me, so when can we have an ebook? When can we have an ebook? I never gathered guts to break into that space, looking at the technicalities, the officializing, the payment channels, the book printing, and all these things. And We are almost comfortable, I should say. We are 99.9% from making this one of the first offerings from Farmers of Thought to be able to have an ebook available out there. Everything will be transparent. We are not running a scam here. And maybe while we are right at the beginning, I need also to mention why did we do the ebook? Why did we do the ebook and set up this platform? The idea was to begin to officially create the Farmers of Thought blogging pages and turn part of that into an institution of continuous learning. I know on my page we have attracted quite a variety of audiences, from students who are genuinely learning to compatriots, which I might call companions, who have been growing together with us, where we share notes. I pick up something, they pick up something, we gather information together, and we keep on rolling as an avalanche to where we are now. Of course, we've also been able to attract apologists and Christian apologists, Islamic apologists, and Hebrew and Jewish apologists, and other religions who have come here to wage war and say, you can't be saying this because things are like this, you can't be saying this and things are like this. I take no offense in all those conversations. Wherever there is learning, wherever there's movement, there's inertia. For every effort in any direction, there's resistance in every opposite direction. That is how speed is considered. But above everything else, we are happy to those who are bridging their knowledge system between the colonial knowledge and they want to connect that with their indigenous knowledge. So why are we doing this? We thought we would put a book out, share the information and knowledge, and most importantly also the proceeds of the book sale. We now want to create for you a back office of a fully fledged training and development program where we have identified 14 courses so far that we're going to be running in the backdrop of these quotations so that people can actually come and go through various spaces of learnerships. In the next few weeks, we are cracking full on to register Farmers of Thought Institute with a professor in Uganda and in Kenya and Tanzania, who has opened a groundbreaking African Science and Technology institution, who will be able to actually give us the backup and the accreditation of this training material into a proper worldwide recognized qualification, which then we can say you're a science student, beautiful, but then you come to this platform and say, how do you use your science colonial degree and marry it with African science? So for me, very critical, because many of our educational experiences will be teaching us how to have a CV and run away. But if you come via here, we will be tapping into one big word we call innovation. The question is, how do you convert your mechanical degree, your fashion degree, your entertainment degree, your science, your accounting, your political science, your African culture, your geography, whatever qualification that you could have qualified in, how can that training that you received now be indigenized, be contextualized, and be inculturated into the African culture? So I would like to call this a catalytic center, so to speak, where we are going to speed up your learning, where we're going to speed up your participation and unlock your innovation, so that your knowledge that you have gathered, which could be academic knowledge, could actually be infused into life itself for continuous participation and relevance. There's no way and reason why an educated person could go out there and look for a job when actually they've been trained to do the job. The only question is, how is my qualification relevant in solving the problems that are in the community? So, and I think this is an excellent platform where like-minded people are going to gather together and create some synergies and symbiosis, understanding, interaction, exchange of knowledge, participation, and growing together as a great African community. We hope out of this we'll be able to create new businesses, we'll be able to create new relationships, We have lots of needs in the continent, but our weakness has been we have not been able to talk to each other. We've been talking at each other, but talking with each other, inclusive to those who want to do serious migrations and come back to Africa, those who want to interact their businesses with the African businesses. If you're running schools out there, if you're running products, if you're running agricultural products and etc., there's nothing that stops us from connecting with each other on this platform and begin to share the food in the Caribbean, the food that is in Africa, the clothing, the arts that is in Caribbean, exchanging our children between platforms, those who want to come and study there, children that want to come and study here, and look at possibilities of us beginning to get our children marrying each other, getting ourselves celebrating festivals together. But it can only get to that platform after we've started to understand each other. And I think this, for me, is a very critical. Above knowledge transfer is also language sharing. How do we begin to greet each other, respect each other? What are the fundamentals and values of our own African culture? We've been made to be suspicious of each other. In some certain cases, the narratives that we have, particularly in the West, it is the Africa that is barbaric, that is demonic, where Africans are hanging on trees like monkeys, eating bananas, where snakes and lions are sleeping outside of the yard and things like that. We don't blame you for having those perspectives, to such an extent that some of the Africans that are out there are scared of coming to Africa, because they think when you jump out of the airport, you'll have a whole flood of spiders that are on your head and you will be pestered by hyenas and stuff like that. It is intentional. The people who send this information and flooded the markets, the movies, the King Kongs, those who have been writing movies about Cleopatras and writing movies about stolen diamonds and blood diamonds. All you hear about Africa are guns, it's corruption, it's a flood, it's hunger, it's disease, it's Ebola, it's, and then the African that is there must be chilling in his blood to think that actually if I get across the continent there, I'll be consumed. Hey, to be at peace, here we are. In Africa, we have built ourselves some 5, 6, 7, 8-roomed houses. We have garages, 4, 5 garages that are parking 6, 7, 8 cars. We also have bikes down here in Africa. We can cruise on the thing. We have internet in Africa here. We have schools, we have restaurants. We have couture also. We eat with forks and knives in Africa. There are universities and computers, and there are aeroplanes and all the infrastructures. It's not as bad. In some certain cases, some of our cities are actually 2 to 3, 4 times much cleaner and newer than some of your cities that are outside there. So we hope through this interaction, we'll be able to share information and demystify the whole barbaric ideologies of the Western culture in terms of them reflecting on African culture. So your proceeds and your money will be used basically to build the institution of Farmers of Thought and begin to create a legacy platform where you and your children can continuously learn storytelling and we grow together. I thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you intermittently. I know our audience are hearing you loud and clear. So the problem is clearly my end. But I did hear a lot of what you had to say, King. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, fantastic. It's such a heartwarming vision and mission that you have. Clearly it's a vision that you have for our young people, for our people, to create, that school of learning where we can create the leaders of tomorrow, and so by investing in this ebook, and I hope everyone's got the link. I've posted the link to the ebook in the chat. Please do click on the link and go to Farmers of Thought on Gumroad and get a copy of that ebook. By buying that ebook, you will be buying into the vision, you will be buying into the mission that you've heard King Joshua talk about, because we've got to change the narrative. We are the ones who are going to have to wake our people up about, you know, the beauty of Africa and what Africa is really like. Brother Kwame Oboje in the chat, oh no, Sister Afrijama in the chat said, yes, my brother, oh no, where is it? Brother Kwame said, it's so true, Baba Maponga. They make sure that our brothers and sisters don't want to come home, but we shouldn't give in to them. I mean, that is absolutely right. And you see, the war is for our mind. The war is about our mind. And as Steve Biko says, you know, the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the minds of the oppressed. Because if they are able to influence our mind in the way we're thinking, then, you know, they're able to influence our thoughts. And if they're able to influence our thoughts, they're able to influence our actions. And, you know, their systems, institutions, their media, their educational institutions, everything, it's all aimed at taking control of our mind, you know. And not only have they captured our mind and mentally enslaved our mind, but they've also captured our spirit, because it's our spirit that informs our mind. And then our mind informs our thoughts, and our thoughts our actions. So we need to take back our spirit, take back our mind. And this is the work that King is doing. Awesome. King, you know, we have fallen from such a great height. To those of us who know our history, we know how incredibly great we were prior to the Wazungus, you know, coming on this planet. We had our kingdoms, our cities, our empires, our scientists, our doctors, our miners, you know, our builders. We were building out of stone, you know, incredible cities we were building, pyramids that were in alignment with the solar system, stone circles. I mean, our minds are so limited now, is it not, compared to where it was before? How are we going to get back, you know, to freeing our minds so that we can, you know, exist in our former greatness? Do you think it's possible?
There's nothing bad that we should view our plight and our history in that light. There's a book you can find, I think, on Farmers of Thought reading page, entitled When Africa Civilized the World. Beautiful piece of work that some of the Pan-Africanists have put together, almost our forefathers, the Anti-Diops and Chikandi Diops and other Duplois and big names that have run ahead of us. Dr. Selby's, Martin Luther's, the contributions of the Malcolm X's, the Marcus Garvey's. The list can go on and on. Every generation has been contributing what they had to contribute. From the ancient times to where we are, we have been able to look back into our history, and every time we do that, we find ourselves again. Every time we peep into our history, we find ourselves again. What is exciting is like a seed that is taken away from the corn and it is stored away. Some of the seeds can be eaten, but the few seeds that have remained, the beautiful part is that if you can find a fertile piece of ground and you plant that seed onto the fertile ground again, you will be able.
See, let me ask how the audio is.
You will be able to see the seed germinate again, grow again, and a new crop can be realized. So I don't want to look at it from the negative view that we have lost. We have lost, yes, but we are here. We are the seeds of the ancient past. And should we be planted on fertile ground, I am very sure that a new germination a new ideology, a new season, and a new harvest is along the way. As long as our ears are still open and our knowledge is still there, the possibilities of our growth is unlimited. I thank you.
My apologies. I have some audio challenges my end. Thanks, Safajamo, for letting me know the king has stopped. I heard the latter part of what you said though, that we are the seeds of those great ancestors. Oh my gosh, that just dropped into my spirit. Yes, indeed. We survived. We have survived. The fact that we're still here means that we are survivors. And so, we will be able to recreate our former greatness again at some point in the future. And if I can just link, what we're talking about today in terms of the works of King Joshua Maponga in the ebook that he's produced with, even what's going on today. Earlier in my show today, we were talking about the Ghanaian election results and the former Vice President Mahamadou, he accepted defeat, and we've got a new the opposition leader actually won the elections, John Mahama. And so when he was coming in, we were learning today, he was coming in with a message of hope, a message of inspiration for the people. He was talking about, the changes that he was going to bring about, because Ghana, where it is today, it's in such economic crisis because they've been following, the Western economic system. The country is in recession, the people are struggling, food prices are really high, the people are impoverished, they're really awful situation. And this new elected president came in with a campaign saying that he's going to be the change that the country needs. And no sooner is he in the door, what is he doing? Instead of looking at, Ghana's wealth, that it actually has, the agricultural wealth, the produces that it could be producing to get people out of poverty, instead of looking at its minerals and its riches, its gold, its diamonds, its manganese, its bauxite, and everything else, and looking at how it could use some of that to generate income and wealth for its people. What is he telling his people to do? Pray. He's calling on the churches to pray as if they can pray their way out of poverty. He's calling on the church, he's calling on the people of Ghana to pray, because he says, that the economic situation that the country is in is so bad, they're going to have to pray their way out of this. They're going to need prayers. King Maponga, they're following the Western system. And hence why they found themselves in the situation that they're in. They're borrowing from the IMF. The IMF and the World Bank are dictating to them, what policies they should be pursuing. They're ensuring, the IMF and the World Bank are ensuring that Ghana remains in this impoverished state, despite all of its wealth. But what is the mindset of some of our people? Why they don't see the abundance that they have? The gold, the magnesium, the coltan, the diamonds, and everything else. But they want to borrow bits of colorful paper from the West, which is just, continuing to sink the country into impoverishment. We need new leaders with new minds, do we not? I mean, what is your take on the recent elections in Ghana and this president calling on the country to pray instead of calling on all of his economists and scientists and technologists and everybody else who might be able to help and assist Ghana, to get themselves out of the situation that they're in? Can we hear your thoughts on that, please?
Every country, every people, they deserve their leader. Every country deserves the quality of leadership that it has. Why do I say that? Because what you produce is what you eat. What you produce is what you eat. So leadership is a product of your educational institution. Leadership is a product of your religious institutions. Leadership is a product of your societal institutions. So depending on the quality of people that you produce in that country, religiously, economically, the people that you produce in your country, religiously, economically, and politically, the quality of your education and your societal structures will reward you with the quality of leader that you have. So Ghana has a leader that is equal to the amount of investments the government has been putting in the educational institution. So if you have produced religious leaders, what you end up having are religious leaders. If you produce political leaders, you end up with political leaders. But if you produce industrialists, you end up with industrialists. Something, if you produce economic leaders, you end up with economic leaders. So what you find, as you may look, peep across the door in terms of Kenya, I hear that the President Ruto had organized a special pastor for his wife, who was Mrs. President. They had a special prayer warrior room where Mrs. President of Kenya was running prayer sessions in the parliament, in the in a state house, with a full prayer team that was running. And at the end of those prayer sessions, Ruto almost lost his presidency because the solutions that we need, I don't know how people can just learn this. They've been studying this book, but studying it upside down. There are three types of prayers that we are taught in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 7, which then says, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, and knock and the doors will be opened unto you. There are three levels, therefore, in which you can look at how we can make our request known. Level one is the A level, where you basically are asking for something. You go out with your hands open to IMF, you open up your hands to World Bank, you open up your hands to the international funders, and you just open up your hands, you're asking for something, which is a very primitive way of starting to live, where you're basically a beggar. Open up your hands and ask for something. Level two are those who are seeking for what they are asking for. So if the Bible says, ask, you shall receive, seek, and you shall find, knock, and the door shall be opened. The first level, our African presidents have been working on the A level, which is the asking level. But when I begin to look at some of the leaders in Africa who have moved from the A level to the S level, where they are beginning to seek for their own solution. You are no longer asking for solutions, but you are seeking for solutions. You can begin to look at countries that are transforming their policies and actively starting getting involved in. We cannot be waiting here asking for the West to deliver us some gifts, but we're going to get out of here and start seeking for those critical solutions. That's level 2, which is the S level. But the most beautiful level of them all is the K level, where you are now beginning to knock at doors, and doors are opening. This is an active bashing of doors, hanging on those doors and beginning to have access into spaces. What Traore has been doing, for example, where we are now beginning to break through the asking mode, break through the seeking mode, and get to the level where we are at the knocking mode. We are knocking for our own opportunities and knocking things down. And if I have any advice for the Ghanaian president, I will not find anything better to tell him, but that the first official trip that he must do, he must go and visit Traore. He must go and visit Traore immediately, Ibrahim Traore. Let that be the first assignment that he will do, so that he can align the vision of Ghana with that great movement that is happening in the north. Number 2, we must be careful as presidents that we do not run the agenda of the West. The agenda of the West is more minerals, more digging, more mining, more this. Yes, with a short-term insertion in terms of money. But when your mining is destroying your water, when your mining is destroying your agriculture, when your mining is destroying your natural habitats, then you must know that after you have made your money in mining, you have destroyed your fisheries, you have destroyed your tourism, you have destroyed your agriculture, you have destroyed your animal life, you have destroyed human life. I've seen some of those gruesome pictures that are in Ghana, where all the waterways have been polluted by these multinationals who have been washing their mineral ores in the rivers and just dumping that water back into the river. That's illegal. That is illegal. Some of those mining processes must be stopped immediately, and whoever was being mining there must be charged with some of the greatest fines that has ever been found in the world. Because there's no way you can be waiting to make some little money out of mining, but downstream you have rendered the entire country or region or province dysfunctional in terms of pollution. Then you can never be seeing progress through mining when housing, fishing, agriculture, environment, tourism, it has all been destroyed by the same mining. Then you're working backwards. Maybe we should stop the mining altogether and let people at least have food, have water, have fish, and etc. Because at the end of the day, we are back to serious colonization, where these miners are coming into a place because they want to pollute the place. They must move the people from that area and go and dump them somewhere else in some non-productive land. And this has been the quality of the contract that some of our stupid presidents have been involved in, where you become so greedy to get that small little brown envelope of your corruption at the expense of destroying the habitat, the people, the life, the food, the livestock, the flora, the fish of the entire environment, because you've been bribed with some 3-4 million in your Mauritius account to allow a company to come and dig and mine and destroy the nature. I think this is quite unethical. Some of these presidents are cool for himself. I think we must look for him and arrest him for having allowed some of these things to happen right under his watch. How can a president come and allow these Chinese to come and destroy an entire mountain, dump the rubbish in the river, destroy that entire community, and is sitting in parliament and even asking for re-election? Who is sick here? Development without ecological intelligence is destruction. I thank you.
We thank you so, so much. And, you know, this is a sort of perspective that the future leaders need to have, because, you know, this generation, the vast majority have been miseducated and indoctrinated with this vision that it's all about extracting the resources, not giving any consideration to the environment. We've got to, but as a people with humanity, not only does our humanity extend to us as humans, but also to the animal kingdom, also to the environment. We are the ones who have a duty and responsibility to protect the planet, and to make sure we protect it for future generations to come, because the destruction that we're causing today, it's going to have long-term implications for future generations. So, I didn't hear all of what you had to say there, King, but from what I did hear, I think you were talking about the importance of taking care of the environment and not exploiting the environment to the extent that we are, and all of the pollution that we're causing. You see, and so this is where our own scientists, this is where, those people with the knowledge and skills within our community need to be given the opportunity to come forward, to do the cleanup, to protect the environment. We need the lawyers. There's so much that we need to do as a people. So, we can't continue to be just passive bystanders, as the corporations and the multinationals continue to just destroy our continent.
And if I can add something, what makes a difference between a king and a president? It is that the president is what makes a difference between the modern political system and the ancient political system is that when you are being inaugurated as a king, they will take up a horn of an animal or something like that, where they put the oil for your anointing. They would get up some mats from the river where you must be sleeping or sitting on. You'll have these clay pots where they're going to be putting some broods inside, or etc. You're going to be having some feathers of animals on your head. There's be some honey somewhere. There is, and when you look at all these elements, when they are put together into the inauguration of the king, the shields, the spears, the everything that he has, the idea is not just to make you feel like you are now the king, but you are not a king if you don't have these things. So you are inaugurated into office to become the champion of preserving the animals. That's why you have the horn in your hand. You must preserve the wildlife. That's why you have a shield in your hand. You must preserve the birds. That's why you have that pair of feather that is on your head. You must preserve the water. That's why you are being inaugurated and water is poured on you. You must preserve the honey. That's why you must taste the honey and you eat it. So you are not just a king over the land in terms of enjoying the opulence of power, but you are the king over the ants. You are king over the ants. You are king over the butterflies. You are king over the birds. You are king over the.
I dropped off for a minute, King. My apologies.
Yes, I'm saying the inauguration of a king involved.
Let's go over to you. You're not having the challenges that I'm having,
Yes, I'm okay. I was saying the inauguration of a king, you include the horns, the feathers, the honey, the reeds, the clay pots, and the skins. And when all these things are put together, it does not give you opulence and make you look big, because there you are. Many of you, when you look at our African kings, you get so distasteful, it's disgusting, because they just look like these animals that are full of feathers and carrying big horns and things, and you look at them and go, wow, that looks so gothic and gore. But what you don't understand is that the inauguration of a king, you are not king if you don't have these things, But what does it mean? It means that while you are the king, you are responsible for protecting what you are holding. Protect the animals, protect the birds, the feathers that are on your hand. Protect the water that you are holding in. Protect the bees, the honey that you are testing. Protect the reeds, the rivers that you'll be drinking from. So when you look at the dressing of a king and everything that he has, he is actually carrying the entire community, the entire nature with its fullness as part of his inauguration, so that he is responsible for looking after this element. When you look at that and you turn it around to how presidents are being inaugurated in your countries of Africa and beyond, all the president needs is a clean pair of shoes from Paris, it's a jacket and it's a tie, and he goes into parliament, raise up your hand, you are now the president of a country. And I don't think some of these presidents even have a clue of what are they supposed to be doing. You are not there to be destroying the environment, but you are there as the chief custodian for the preservation of the very environment in which you are asked to become the leader of, or you are asked to become the champion of preservation rather than the champion of destruction. So it's unfortunate that we have presidents and we have lost the value of our kings, and our presidents don't know their land, and their land does not know them, which is a very unfortunate situation where they live in their presidential houses and they don't even know where the ants, the birds, and the bees are staying. And if bees die on this world, for example, you kill bees only, in less than 3 years, the whole world will be starving. They are the biggest farmers of all times. So the destruction of nature and flora messes up pollination, messes up agriculture, messes up the bird life, messes up the whole food cycle. Bees are some of the most important insects that we have on the face of the earth, as they are responsible to be the first farmers who basically conduct the scientific formulas of moving flowers from pollen to pollen and improving the quality of our food. So unfortunately, our political understanding of leadership in terms of presidential election falls short of the knowledge which the presidents must be having. I mean, who can call a man like Akupo a president where outside of his yard such amount of destruction is happening and he is sitting in parliament and saying, I'm a president? We are a president of what? When what you're supposed to be presiding over is being destroyed. I thank you.
Please continue, King. My internet is not allowing me to interact in the way that I would really love to interact with you today. And it's probably because I need to zip up and just allow you to flow.
Oh, quite interesting. And in as much as we would want to look at our modernity in the light that we are now eating with forks and knives, we can have motorcades that are running and chasing behind us. We can fly to the United Nations and stand and take some pictures with some fellow, international figures. I don't think that should be the definition of what true leadership is all about. True leadership has to do with you as a president getting off your motorcade and walking down to the river and taking a glass of from your car and pick up water from that river and drink. And if you as a president can't drink that water, you need to go up the river and find out who has polluted this water. And it must be your business to make sure that from where activities of industries are happening to where the river is pouring into the ocean, that every piece of life along that river is preserved. Every animal and is preserved. Human beings are preserved. And three things only all leaders must be aware of. Make sure that people have clean water. Make sure that the land is preserved. Make sure that the air people are breathing is preserved. And if you can just keep those three principles in their simplicity, you may actually discover that the entire issue of human survival and governance depends on how we interact with those three elements: our air, our land, and our water. As a president, what is the quality of water? What is the quality of land, and what does the land have? what is the quality of the air, and what can we do to make sure that these three elements continuously deliver to our people the best basic gift that nature has given us. To live in harmony with nature is the highest form of civilization. I thank you.
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There's so many breaking news stories that I wanted to bring to you and have King comment on, because the wisdom that he brings is all incorporated within his book. So there is the new ebook that's available. Please do make sure that you get a copy. I'm going to post the link again in the chat, because King Maponga for many years now, because some of you have been following King for years. He's got a number of social media handles. Some of you may already be following him on some of those social media handles. And you can follow him on Twitter. You can follow him on Facebook. You can follow him on YouTube. Just go to Farmers of Thought. You can go to Maponga Quotes on Facebook. You can go to African Indigenous Movement on Facebook. You can find him at Maponga Quotes on TikTok. You can find him at Maponga Quotes on Twitter as well, and also on Instagram. And if you've been following King on any of these social media platforms, you will know that for years he's been coming out with some very deep, thought-provoking quotes, some proverbs, some poems that really make you see the world from a different perspective. And he's launched his book, Farmers of Thought: What is in the Cup from the Ground? And, the proceeds that he gets from this book, if you were tuned in earlier, you will hear is going towards a wonderful cause. It's all about generating the funds that's needed so that we can create the institutions that we need in order to teach our leaders of tomorrow. But we can't do it without your support. So please do get a copy of the book. King Joshua, I wonder if you could just say a little bit about your ebook that you're launching, and if you can let our people know why they ought to be getting copies of it, especially with the festive season coming up. Those who celebrate Kwanzaa, those who celebrate Christmas, an ebook.
I think we might have just to reschedule. We might have to reschedule this and do the launch nicely, maybe tomorrow or so, so that at least we can have all the thumbnails properly launched. But for today, I think yes, it is true. We have a book.
And the audience is saying, and it's letting me know that they can hear you.
They can hear me. Yes, but I think for the purposes of a proper recording, maybe we can schedule later on in the week or over the weekend, and we can do an official proper flash launch when all the internets are back online. But the book is now available. The links are available. The first bird, those who are going to be starting doing the ordering, can start running. And I think in the back office, we're just finalizing also one or two websites and other structures that we need to make sure that we are able to distribute this book internationally to everybody. How do you read this book? Would be a next most important session for me, where it's not just a book that you read and you throw away. No, it's a book that is intended that while you are reading this book, you internalize the book. So I suggest maybe you read it slowly. You're not in a hurry to finish. You read one proverb per day, like literally one proverb per day, and then you internalize the proverb and you think around it. And I would have been tempted to write the proverb and then put the explanation. But again, that defeats the whole purpose of activating your mental involvement in interacting with the proverbs themselves. And I hope that will be creating quite an interesting platform where you don't understand, you should be able to ask your friends, how do you say this in your own tribe? How do you say this in your own language? And I think it's in the midst of that interaction that we can begin to learn from each other. So it's not necessarily written as I'm reading this book, guys, I'm reading by myself. No, you can never read it by yourself. You need to read it with your community. You need to read it with others. You need to read it with your children. Our proverbs are actually coded languages. It's a coded language. When we want to say the deep thing, we hide it inside idioms, proverbs, and wisdom, so that we necessarily could speak to each other in the presence of our enemies, and they would never know what we are talking about. So proverbs are a language of war. It is our Morse code of passing on very sensitive information, which has to do with recalibration of the human soul without necessarily being offensive. So it's a mental science to be able to understand the wisdom of proverbs. And when you internalize that, you will be very fascinated to note that it actually tempers with your radar system, how you perceive and look at things and interpret them, but it creates a brilliant platform for interaction. And as I was saying earlier on, it would be very exciting to see other young and old authors who are going to leech on this thing. Our critics will come and say, but you're writing African proverbs. Why wasting time? Why still write them in English? Why put them in English? You must put them in Shona. And you're using white man's gadgets and what. And we have heard those complaints for the longest of time. Our intention here is an academic, educational, societal, cultural, interactive platform where this information is available to get the conversation started. As such, we hope that we can appeal to the young and old writers who can come and join with us to participate in improving the writings and translations and let the education of the African children continue. I thank you.
Thank you so much. So I thank you so much, King Maponga, for persevering. A sincere apologies for the internet challenges that we've been having. But yeah, I'll see what I can do my end to improve the internet connection. And then, if I'm fortunate enough to have you back.
No, it's fine. I'll be on standby. I'll be on standby. Let's rework on it, and maybe over the weekend or early in the week, let's do another splash and do another launch. But for the time being, I think we can be sharing the news on our platforms. Yes, it's official. The ebooks is now available. And I think those who want to be early birds can start clicking the buttons and sharing the information with us. Please work with us. I know the temptation to download and then cut and paste and steal from each other, that kind of thing. And amazing, some people can be Christians, can be Muslims, but their ethics in terms of understanding what we are trying to do will always be sabotaged by the human elements of greed and of theft. Some people could be sitting there looking for codes. How do you crack this so that you can get the book for free and then share it for free? But then you're defeating the whole purpose as to why are we doing this. I mean, I've been doing Facebook live programs for the past 10, 11 years. I've not charged or received a penny for the past 10 years. People have come on this platform. They have downloaded my videos. They have built their own empires. Some are sitting on 3, 5, 10 million. They are receiving thousands of dollars from YouTube and Facebook and other platforms, and they're making a living out of the content. I've never followed any one of them to ask for a penny for that happening. And for the first time now, we want to build even a better institution for you and your children. We would want to ask you to say, please work with us and participate with us, become part of this beautiful and wonderful, wonderful platform. Get a voucher, get a few vouchers, send your friends over Christmas. Buy a book for a friend, and send them the link. Buy them the book if you can. The book is very cheap. We only made it for $4.99. And as you fully know, we can share the details very frankly. There's nothing to steal from anybody. The $1 is going for Gumroll platform where the book is being held. $1 is going for Tanis and the marketing of the book. $1 is going for Kasimi and the marketing of the book. $1 is coming for the author, and $1 is going for Farmers of Thought as an institution. So there you have it. We have nothing to hide. My armpits are up in the air. That's exactly how we're going to be rolling with it. So I can't pay Sister Shanice for what she's doing. I can't pay Kasumi for what he's doing. So we all are going to be working together jointly towards the distribution and the sales of this book worldwide. And we have set up platforms in the background. We're setting up websites in the background. There are bills to be paid also in terms of keeping these platforms running while we are marketing the book. So no one has contributed nothing except the brains and the gift that we have put on the table. And all of us who are going to be willing to participate on this program, I think other forms of contracts can be designed for the new people who want to translate also into their own languages. We can see how much also you can be able to make. So I'm not promising lots of employment, but if you have an interest in terms of working with us in translation of these proverbs into your local language, I promise you, with the team that I have on the table, we will also be able to make it worth your while. Whoever brings and contributes, I believe, anyone who sweats while we are hunting, he must also get a piece of the meat when the buffalo has dropped. So there's no way we can use you to do your work and translate. And I think, remember, there's another young lady who was translating the gospel who is in Curacao, whom we're working with. She would have fallen on the line, but if one can reach out to her also, I think she'll be very excited to know that we've now set up a platform where these translation can begin to be monetized. But we can only monetize them as people are participating. So after translating into your local language, the question is how do we now create an audience which can read that language? And only when they read and they download and they pay, you will also be able to realize the benefits of what you are doing in terms of your own project. So some of you are looking and listening, and you wanted to take this project to your own personal space. There is an opportunity of working together with us on Farmers of Thought in terms of translation, distribution, and marketing of the project. And I hope that all of us will be one big happy family. And I don't want, when I die one day, someone to come on my grave and point on my grave that I owe them anything. I owe no person nothing except love. So let's make it worth a while as we are working on this piece of work, that we participate and everybody can be able to benefit from the efforts that we put. I thank you.
Well, we thank you so, so much. I am so honored to be part of this drive. I'm so honored to be part of this mission. And internet permitting, I'll be allowed to stay on the team. Thank you so much, King Joshua. I'll certainly be doing all I can to support. And, I just hope that my audience, will get behind your mission and vision, because it's not, a personal thing, it's a community thing. It's something that's for our people. And it's what we want to leave behind as a legacy for the next generation. Just imagine if the book sales were so much so that we can build our own educational institution, initially online, so that we could be building tomorrow's leaders with the mindset of those such as King Maponga. We can't continue with the leaders that we've got today, with the mindset, the corrupted mindset that they have. And, these proverbs, this way of thinking that King Maponga has, is going to be about transforming the minds of future generations. So please do get a copy of the ebook. Please do support me as I support the King in the works that he's doing. I believe in the vision. I believe that we have to be transforming the minds of our people. I believe that we are the ones who are going to have to do the work. No one is going to do it for us. And we've got someone like Joshua King Maponga who's prepared to sacrifice his time to make it happen. Let's support him so that he can support the community, and our future generations in the works that he's doing. So, keep your eyes peeled to the Community News family. We're going to try and do this again, hopefully with a clearer internet connection. And, as you've been hearing from King, so much wisdom to share. We are honored. I am honored that you are part of this platform and sharing with our audience today. So to every single one of my audience members, to those of you who are listening, please do get a copy of the ebook. Please do support the great of King Joshua Maponga. We are honored during this time, to be part of this great works that he's doing. We really are honored. And so let's make it worthwhile, family. Let's start getting the sales from tonight. Let's click the link up there in the chat and, be buying copies of the book. Thank you so, so much again, King Maponga. Apologies again for the internet connections, but we're going to do it better next time. Let me leave you to leave us with the final words, please.
No, it'll be well. And as we learn, we grow. As we grow, we transform. And we cannot say the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. The youth are the leaders of today, because the decisions they make today, they are going to harvest them tomorrow. So we don't have to wait for the leaders of tomorrow. The leaders of tomorrow are training today. So if there is no preparation today, there's no tomorrow. He who fails to prepare prepares to fail. I thank you.
Thank you so, so much. Family, we're going to leave it there. My internet has plagued me throughout the whole program today, but I thank you so much for hanging on in there. Check the community page for when we're going to be coming back, because we're probably going to be back before the scheduled time. Okay, family?
Thank you.
More love, more strength, and thanks in advance for the support. Thanks again, King Joshua.
Thank you.
We honor
Wonderful.
you for the works that you're doing. Bye for now.